I just got the news today that the American embassy in Saudi Arabia had condemned the Houthi shelling missiles over Saudi Arabia. That sounds good? No. That sounds vicious. It's viciousness. It is filth. It is filthy. You know why? Because this embassy is, in a matter of fact, endorsing the entity of the Houthis, as if they're saying to them, look, you're okay. To us, you are okay. To control Sana'a, to be a political power in Yemen, you're okay. We endorse you. We approve that. The only thing we disapprove, the only thing we criticize is that you shell missiles over Saudi Arabia. 2 weeks before, America announced that Houthis are not terrorists. Right after this, they started to shell their missiles against Saudi Arabia. You know, if they know that America is against them, they'll say, oh, since now they said you're not terrorists anymore, let's delay our missiles. Let's stop it for a while. But this increased their efforts and their attacks against them, against Saudi Arabia. So what's going on? This is a filthy, vicious kind of behavior that returned us to the era of Barack Obama. Okay, so they maintain the militias against the Muslim countries. As a matter of fact, this condemnation of the embassy is giving an official position that they are officially regarded. This is the viciousness of this announcement in the American embassy in Saudi Arabia. Well, that is why we have to remind our people that those people do not spare any corruption to you when they are able to do that, whenever they're able. Look, they're putting many restrictions. Even if they sold us weaponries, you know, we are restricted not to use it except this. Or they took the very important parts of it. So you cannot use it for outside using against another country. But you can use it against your own people, against the public. Yeah, okay, this is okay. But to use it against another country, no. Well, I'm paying money, even though. When we give you weapons, we have to be extremely cautious that these weapons will never be used against our #1 ally, Israel. See? Never use it against Israel. How much more if they restrict these weaponries from being used, except for very, very narrow, limited purposes, internal limited purposes. Well, in another word, use it against your own people, but not against outside. I swear by Allah that there is no way of victory for us except turning our loyalty, owning ourselves to Allah, disowning ourselves against all. And that's why Allah said, ينصركم الله فلا غالب لكم وإن يخذلكم فمن ذا الذي ينصركم من بعده وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. If Allah grants you victory, no one can defeat you. But if Allah forsought you, left you, who is He to grant you victory after Him, after Allah? And from here I also say that this fight against the Houthis is jihad, is a holy war against those who have been supported by, no, not only supported by Iranians, but the Iranians themselves are running this war, orchestrating the war, against Saudi Arabia. But is there any action taken against Iran? No, the opposite. Okay? Iran is good. We have to have negotiations and everything is going to be fine. Yes, they killed 30,000 by one go in Tehran. They killed 30,000 prisoners by one command given by Khomeini. Kill them. Yet we can deal with them. Yeah. This is a vicious policy. It is, in a matter of fact. Because they know that Iran shredded Syria, devastating Yemen. Who's behind the war? I mean, they're blaming Saudi Arabia as if they started the war. They're defending their borders. There's no way to stop. Look, this is my addressing to Saudi Arabia. Do you think that Iran will be stopping their assault against you? You'll be stupid if you think that way. They're not going to stop. That's why the Muslims before, during the Uthmani Caliphate, etc., the only thing they do, they don't kill all the Shia by one time, no. But they were so persistent not to let the Shia become dominant or active power. Once they become active, then no limits, no end of their wars and attacks against the Muslims. No way. You have to deal with this. You have to take an action. You have to change this strategy. Don't ever seek peace with them because they're not going to give you peace. Wallahi, if I know that they want, they're aiming for peace, wallahi, I'll be number one who will be encouraging Saudi Arabia to set peace with them. But they're not. They want. Their religion is a militia kind of religion. That's their madhab. That's their way. They grew up with this. They are a bunch of hypocrites. Whenever they become powerful, they'll not let you enjoy peace anymore. That's what they're doing in Iraq, Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, and bombing everywhere. The Americans knew that Iran is behind the bombing against the American embassies and Israeli embassies. They know it. America know that this Ukrainian civil airplane was launched by an Iranian missile deliberately, because it consisted of some Canadian Iranians that they don't want them to be alive. So they shot the whole airplane, killing 240 people at least, just for this purpose. So Iran is not a country that is aiming for peace. In a matter of fact, what we see between Iran and Europe and America, especially with America, barking. So the fight doesn't take place. What takes place? Only barking between Iran and the Americans. And the only one that will be paranoid because of this barking are those who have oil. Okay? The money will be always given to the Americans. Take, but please protect us from Iran. But what are you doing instead? You're not depending on Allah. If they asked you to change your curriculums, to change your methodology, to change your Islamic religious way, you will be saying, we hear and we obey. If they ask you to change your way, you'll be saying to them, we hear and we obey. Then wait for victory. It won't come. Because victory is from Allah. إِن يَنْصُرْكُمُ اللَّهُ فَلَا غَالِبَ لَكُمْ. If Allah, there is no one to defeat you. There is no one to overcome you. But if Allah left you, forsought you, then who is He that will be granting you victory after Him? وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And on Allah, the believers should trust and depend. depending on Allah. So, as a result, I say, it's shameful. This statement broadcasted, released by the American embassy, is in itself a vicious kind of statement, because it means that the Houthis are officially accepted as leaders of Yemen. We haven't seen any kind of official contact between America and the legal government in Yemen. That legal government in Yemen, which arrived to Yemen, the moment they arrived to the airport, the Houthis started to shell them with missiles. What was the punishment of America against the Houthis? You're not terrorists anymore. But they say, death is for America. Al-mawtu li America. No. The Americans did not. Maybe there was a mistranslation. Instead of T for maut, they understood it the other way. The letter Zain instead of T, which means al-mawz li America, banana for America. Wallahi, there is no supporter for us except Allah. And if we seek dignity, power, victory away from Him, we will not be granted victory.